When I saw that man raise his knife...
When you say that man, I assume you refer to Joe Dark?
Yes, at least I think it was him.
You think?
All I could really see were shadows.
The power outage that immediately preceded the incident is also documented in the prosecutor's office reports. So then you...
I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think
Oopsie, sorry. Ah, shit. Why would you do something so dangerous?
What else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall, and he did.
She seems convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife. But as we've just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife.
Well, I didn't know that at the time.
You got him killed.
When that Dark guy knocked me down, all I could think was, I've got to help that other person. I think I knocked away the man with the knife.
What do you mean, you think?
It all happened so fast, and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's kind of a blur.
Miss Skye was almost killed before she was a witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural.
I saw the man about to stab the other person who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife.
What you did was very brave, young girl. Too bad you got the wrong person murdered, you...
Idiot.
Idiot. So then, what happened next?
Just then, there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger.
Well, as fast as lightning. Are you sure about this?
Of course. See? I even drew a picture of him here.
But it was the chief of detectives who thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year.
Oh my gosh.
The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable.
What if Gumshoe got his inspiration from this picture?
Oh no.
I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. So you did fucking remember this then, Emma. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. You just said you didn't remember any of this. What the hell? I had this nagging... Oh, here we go. I had this nagging feeling I'd seen him around before.
He's so desaturated.
Now I finally remember.
Oh, brother. Just when you thought that thing had caused enough commotion, never. The next case will also be about a blue badger.
I hope so.
And there's going to be a clock inside of him.
I hope so.
I still kind of miss the old days where we were suspecting that every case would be about a statue with a clock inside.
Well,
we do have another statue.
Is there a clock inside?
Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing?
He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. He was boogie woogie oogie-ing.
His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all?
He's adorable. That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns.
Those aren't horns, it's
like
a jester's cap.
Satan himself.
This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation. If so, then by all means, please tell us what this shadow really was. What was it that Emma saw when the lightning flashed? Who is this blue badger, really? It's gotta be the vase, right?
I think so.
The blue badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture. Yet she certainly saw. Yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago...
Smart thinking.
There indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that's now sitting in this very room. That's a declaration you've made.
Mr. Wright?
In this room? Very well. Mr. Wright? What is it that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this mysterious blue badger lookalike. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably the vase.
I don't know what else it could be.
Yeah.
It's Chief Gant.
He was doing praise to the sun. Take that. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this. But that's... what exactly is that? It's a weird fucky vase designed to fall over, apparently.
Yeah, it's really...
It's close enough to the crime to have blood on it.
Yeah.
And it's got little jester ears in two directions, kind of. She's just replacing the image with blue badger somehow. How did she draw
I don't know.
it, though?
I don't know how she did that. She drew it really badly then because the shape's not right.
Yeah. But, you know, trauma.
Sure.
I believe it's some sort of jar.
But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger.
Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint?
Change your perspective.
Our viewpoint? I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this from.
I wonder what it is, Keith. Oh my gosh, like that. I didn't even think. Fuck, I'm an idiot.
Oh, you can rotate it.
I think you had it the other way. No, like turn it around where the other side's facing us. I think it's that. Oh, well, upside down though. Yeah. Wait, no, keep going.
Oh my god, it's perfect.
No.
Ish.
Maybe?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe it is that. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
There we go. This isn't right. I've got to make it look more like fuck
what?
you.
I thought it was pretty good.
Allow me to remind the defense that in its case hinges on the witness's drawing. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape of the witness drew, we cannot accept his claim. Gotta find just the right angle.
Come on,
Maybe
Mr. Wright.
Rotate it or something.
We turn it around like all the way around.
You ready to make it steeper?
So it's where like the narrow end is pointing towards us now. I don't know why that would. I think that's perfect, but I don't know what the fuck they want.
I made it steep. No. Can we not do all this? Boo 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 boo. Do 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 do. It doesn't look good.
Maybe it's just like that. Maybe that's all I want is that. Just stupid. What, sir?
They did not give you enough margin for error for this one. Jesus Christ.
I don't. It can't be like. Like maybe that's what they want, but like.
That's stupid.
No, because there's no top.
That's too stupid. But fuck it.
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît.
A plus video.
Do they just want it upside down?
Is
it they just want it like completely just how it was normally, but just upside down?
That'd be confusing. Technically, she drew it sideways. I wonder if that's the secret.
That's stupid. I don't think it was the secret.
I'm about to just look up the correct angle. Because you probably have to fucking like frame perfect it.
I don't know why they do that in a kid's game.
This game, games happen.
Just keep turning it. Just turn it to where like maybe that other little point is the hat.
What?
I know that doesn't make sense. Never mind.
I wish I could just get the top of the screen as a silhouette so I can just match it.
I mean, I don't think it's ever gonna match perfectly.
Yeah, but I get closer.
Dude.
Alright.
Pull up.
Let's see if I can just find it. Because this is a silly thing to get stuck on.
This is the silliest shit to get stuck on.
That looks like what we were doing.
But we're gonna get it framed fucking
we're
perfect.
looking at a picture right now, and it looks very similar to what we had going on.
But we're gonna do it fucking exactamundo. This is a grade A version of like you really having to reconcile with the fact that the people that you're showing this to aren't humans.
Look at the
It's like you're trying to pass a CAPTCHA.
Look over on look at the other monitor. Maybe that'll help you.
Oh yeah, because like right next to the capture's next to the video. Can I do it? Fuck.
Wow.
Speaking of things that should have been fixed in the port, maybe make this part less shitty when you release it again 10 years later for new audiences.
It has to be angled down more.
Like further back this way?
Like that, the circle of the mouth, it is like touching the bottom.
It is touching the bottom.
Well, like that, yeah. So look at the picture.
But like it doesn't look, but now by the time we tilt it for the mouth to be touching the bottom, the nose, the top part doesn't look the same anymore.
But look at the picture we got.
Yeah. It looks like the object was rendered differently on the DS, which is what we're looking at here.
Maybe that's why we're having a problem. What the?
I hate it.
Flippity flip flop.
I
motherfucker.
hate it.
What the flippity flop?
I hate it.
Floop.
I hate it. Welcome to this entire episode being just this.
This is what you guys have been waiting for.
Pulse pounding action. Phoenix Wright. Man, I love all the dialogue you have to do over and over again instead of it just be going. Like it could just go. But instead you gotta do this fucking VN loop. I hate it. I hate it. We're literally looking at a guide and we can't do it.
I swear, as I say, you should, I don't know if you can include this picture, but you should like.
How do I skip ahead?
It's verbatim. We're doing very well. What? What? Why? Was that not
I don't care.
Was that not exactly what we were doing this whole time, guys? Like, was that not just that?
Silly ass game.
Silly ass bitch.
They re-released it and they left it like that, where it's that much pain. That had to come up in playtesting. How the fuck?
See, I'm telling you, they just didn't playtest it. They're missing the plot holes and they've missed this.
You have to playtest everything. There's no way they didn't playtest it. Well, is this a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger.
He's like, I'm insulted.
Did fucking Edgeworth, it auto-proceeded. Did Gumshoe just, did he base the Blue Badger on like,
you see that?
on a crime scene drawing?
Essentially.
Order. The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. It doesn't change anything. Well, it just verifies the testimony. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Well then, very well then, please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? My health bar shrinketh.
What does it change?
The location's still the office, which is
Yeah,
where
the
the base
location
is.
should be the same.
The murder weapon,
Is
they're still murdered by a sword.
I guess it might be the murderer because of who's holding what.
Yeah. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
Yeah, it must have fallen. Well, it fell over, I guess.
Well, I guess she was laying on the ground.
Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen the jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in the picture. The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. It's the same room. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it was these two facts that reveal what exactly transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office.
You're really gonna like start talking about like offices when it's just one room that they share?
This is kind of whatever to me.
Me too.
Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body? People have legs. From Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes.
I didn't even think that was.
Why-
I didn't think that was a plot point at all.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
confused by why this is the hill we're dying on right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would he do that? There's no reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
The trial ends.
Game over. Roll credits. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Okay. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. And the next instant the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have to have been the impact of the man made when he was knocked into the wall? Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked into the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit?
What? The knight?
Oh, we're talking about the knight?
Maybe.
He got stabbed in the back by the knight. The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword. Not a sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No. Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There's another possibility of what actually transpired in that room.
It's that thing that I called this so far earlier, where I was like, oh, like he was pushed into the night.
The knight definitely stood out as being a murder, involved in the
Especially
murder.
because in the photograph, it's like highlighted.
Yeah.
Like the little area around the.
They're
point of the
awkwardly
sword.
posing behind a knight that's halfway out of frame, just so they could set it up for later in the story.
But they're like really
it's gonna do
emphasizing
something.
the knife part, the sharp
Yeah.
part.
Another possibility. Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless, I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, and the outcome is obvious, in that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
She did kill him. She did kill him.
So Lana's been doing all this to just hide the idea that Emma murdered somebody?
Oh, potentially.
Well...
You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me?
Yeah. And
Yeah?
he was trying to save you.
Yeah.
That was real dumb. You fucked up.
Ha ha ha.
You did a murder. Or a manslaughter.
No!
You did a manslaughter.
An ouchie.
Thud. She's dead. Back. I guess we can go back to
There's another trial for this murder now.
I guess we can go back to Maya now.
Yeah, moving on.
I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life. And then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. That's most of our witnesses. They all are the murderers every time. That's been all of the previous cases we've done. Judge, did you forget?
What? What are you saying?
Wait, did you not know?
Maybe. I thought that was the whole point.
I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances...
Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? Oh. It's a weird face. How dare you try to pin the crime on her?
She's a thumb biter. Imagine that coming from you. Damn. They're gonna fight? If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it?
I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof.
Was Lana even there? How would she know that she killed her?
Well, Lana was there because Lana was like coddling Emma after the whole thing.
Yeah, but how would she piece together from the scene what Emma had done?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. That's confusing.
Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? The fact that she's asking that means that we do.
Yeah. Evidence? Yeah, it's like, do you see the map?
The
Very
map!
good.
The map! I'm willing to bet you don't.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, don't friggin'. If you say that, it'll be true. Like, as you say it, so it shall be.
Yeah. The monkey paw curls.
Yes.
One finger. It's like the reverse monkey paw. It's like what you don't want to have happen every time. Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence.
Wouldn't it be funny to figure out what the judge's name is?
Udgy.
Udgy.
Udgy. McJudgy.
His wife's like, my last name is McJudgy. Thanks a lot.
If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony.
I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead.
We certainly can't get dead people to testify.
Not yet. Wait, where's Maya?
Maya!
Where's Maya?
Maya! We gotta wait for her to finish her training. Case extended. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. You didn't say the magic word. Touche, Miss Skye.
Just have him say touchy.
Touchy, Miss Skye.
Have him pronounce it completely wrong.
Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. That's unfortunate. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life.
I think the likelihood it's not like a common occurrence.
In one manner or another, The cloth?
The
With
cloth.
the handprint?
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It's cut out. And
Oh yeah,
in the safe.
probably. That's impossible.
Well, Mr. Wright,
Well, that does have
this
Emma.
is the only possibility left to you.
That does have Emma's fingerprints on it. Remember?
Because she shoved him.
Because she shoved him.
A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind doesn't exist. Well, he's reflect then. This message from the deceased is already in our possession.
Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer?
Is she a murderer in this universe?
It's accidental. But I don't know if they, I don't think.
I mean, this universe is dumb. So
Yeah.
who knows? Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. The truth.
The truth.
No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys the message from the deceased. Shove.
It's a very clear handprint.
Yeah. I mean, what else would come from him?
I feel like it has. I call like instantly. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's
Like what he
obviously.
wears.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it bears Emma Sky's prints.
Exactly. Remember?
Yeah. This is the message from the deceased. Right. Now then. This is the message from the judge. What?
Oh.
Damn! Clapping back.
Wow.
I guess that wasn't right. If a dead person left behind a message, it'd have to be in a written form. That's the only logical conclusion.
Excuse me.
Why? You better be careful or you might wind up deceased yourself. That's
that's a
How
threat.
does this trial work?
That's a threat.
You get murdered? Let's try this again. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys the message from the deceased.
Well,
312 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Muffler.
Muffler. But to think of like, obviously only half of our stuff even pertains to this crime specifically.
Yeah, basically none of these do.
Da, 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 da. It'd be in written form, he says. Is there something, I mean, there's something in the autopsy report that like would, it's not like, there's not like a secret code in it or anything. It's not like he would be writing that anyway.
I don't know. He was 27. That's a very vague time of death, considering how immediately it was discovered.
It says he died in blood loss in under 10 minutes. Maybe he did have time to send us a secret message.
He took 10 minutes to die of being stabbed in the heart.
Slash lung.
Wait, it's not blood. I don't think that's usually blood loss. It's when you shot through the heart. And,
And Emma's to blame.
You get man. You can't even look at the
You
actual
give-
list.
Courtrooms. Bad names. I don't know, man. I really thought it was gonna be that.
Yeah.
Why is it not that?
It has to be written. He had to have written a message, apparently.
I think I'll keep this information to myself.
She
Not anymore.
uses to present this information, even though it's incredibly relevant to the trial. Thanks, Phoenix. Love ya.
Love you. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for fucking us. A lot of the stuff's so old.
There's like a secret message inside the vase. That'd be funny.
The dark red stains must be blood tracers from the incident 2 years ago. Only the fragment found in Chief Gant's office still has lines remaining on it.
But what? I mean, could it be that?
That's an M. It says Emma. That's an M.
Oh my
Jagged line.
gosh, are you freaking
There's a
kidding
E on
me?
the left, an M in the middle, and an A on the right. You can see like the dots
Are
that make the triangle of the A.
kidding me?
Yep. I mean, no. Yep. It's this.
That's why it looks like a so weird. That looks like a crying person.
This is the message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before, right?
Oh, is he just going to speak the killer's name?
No, it's a vase, you idiot. Why is everyone calling it the blue badger? It's a vase. It just looks like the blue badger coincidentally. We've established this. Jesus Christ. If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Because apparently the blue badger's a narc.
He looks like a narc.
He is a police mascot.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, honestly.
Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. How? Oh, right, because the author's insane. A message was left here, on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like someone wiped that blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there is a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message spitefully to make sure that Emma was convicted of his murder.
That is actually pretty, like, it was an accident.
What an angry way to go out.
Yeah.
While somehow having the strength to do this with a spear in your heart.
For 10 minutes.
Yeah. One that someone apparently wiped away. Lana. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lions changed directions.
Does not make sense.
Blood must have seeped into the jar everywhere. It's a porous looking, like, clay jar.
It's like terracotta or something.
Let's spray some luminol on that shit. We'll see just Emma clear as day and neon.
Yeah?
Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. Usually when they talk about court cases and crime scenes and so on about being about connecting the dots, they don't usually mean it literally.
No.
Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. Gotta connect these dots to make letters. I already figured it out. There's only one thing the victim could have written given the circumstances. His murderer's name.
Are you gonna like connect? You're gonna connect the dots? Oh my gosh. Beep. Beep. Like how you're just drawing on this piece of evidence with blood on it.
Let's assume we have a photo. Or some shit. I don't think we have to connect this part.
No, I don't think so. They can't figure it out without that spot filled in. They're idiots.
It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Oh my god! Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Are we gonna find out that Gant wasn't the murderer at all and was not guilty of anything? But
I can't believe a world in which that's true.
He seems to have used it to blackmail Lana at least, because he's got this stuff like locked away for, like, to get her later. Mm-hmm. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye.
Twist. That's Gant.
That's probably, yeah. See, Worthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Why is it there's no universe where the question marks make sense. It really frustrates me. It's like no one in these individual novels can recognize voices. They don't have object permanence. If they're not watching the person that's talking, they don't exist. Who is this newcomer? A new challenger? Someone pressed start on the second controller. Chief Gant. Do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Ack. Very in-character sound to make. Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
Whoa, they're trying to make a statement.
But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable.
Yeah, but maybe not of this specific instance.
I mean, he was still an attempted murderer again.
That's true.
Or he just ran in his room, I guess. I'm afraid that's not important.
I think it kind of is.
Kind of is. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone might say, the fact cannot be denied. What's going on at the prosecutor's office?
They might have seen an innocent man to his death.
How could he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order! Order!
Order!
Time for the transition. The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where is this trial headed? No one knows. Bom bom. We beat the first half.
Yay!
Except this trial ladder. What an excellent time to take a break. I think you're falling asleep. Rock or step.
Guys, I'm so bad.
It's now late.
I can't believe I could just do that sitting up.
I saw your eyes closed and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Out of nowhere, this happens to me now.
You're getting narcoleptic this week.
It's just that, not that just this week, it's just like I could fall asleep anywhere now. I'm like an old person.
Are you just not sleeping enough? Or you just get too comfortable whenever you stop moving?
Just every time I stop moving, I'm like driving my car. And
yeah. I have a thing where I'm too busy all the time. And so like I'm really bad when it's like, oh, I'm visiting with family or whatever, and like I'm just sitting there for a while, and it's like, so I'm just suddenly not busy, and it's like I don't know how to react to that, so I just start falling asleep. Like I'll go to my mom's like house or whatever, and like there's nothing I have to do right now.
I sleep so well when I visit my family. Like I sleep like a child, little baby Stephanie. It's just your soothing voice, Keith.
We're almost there.
Yes.
We're almost there. What a twist. I don't think either of us predicted that.
No, I definitely didn't actually. Of all like the very like telegraphed
admittedly almost nothing foreshadows that.
No.
We spent like 3 days investigating, and like none of the evidence really points to the idea that, like, Emma murdered someone. Admittedly, most of the investigation was about a different murder.
What if that vase, when you first saw it, you were like, "This is Emma," and you called it like episodes ago? That'd be very funny with no context whatsoever. You're like,
dude,
that vase says Emma.
They really did just this game's starting to have like this.
That's too good.
This game started to have the Star Wars problem. Like in Star Wars Episode 1, in A New Hope, blow up the Death Star, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's like Empire Strikes Back. Now it's like, well, that was too simple, just having one fight happening. So now that at the end, we have to have two fights happening. It's the fight that Luke's having with Vader, while also Leia and everyone's fighting in the hallways of Cloud City. Then in the third movie, there's a fight happening down on the moon of Endor, while there's also a space fight happening against the Death Star, while there's also the fight between Vader and Luke and Palpatine at the same time. Then you get to Episode 1, which is the fourth movie they made, and you have the fight that's happening in the Naboo Palace, while there's also the Duel of Fates fight, while there's also the Gungan fight, while there's also the Anakin space fight at the same time. So every single Star Wars movie for the first 4 Star Wars movie kept layering one more layer of combat into the climax. So they're doing that. It's like, we went from one murder to last case was 2 murders, and this one's
now it's 3
murders.
murders.
3 murders where one of them's a pretend murder.
Yep.
But like, we spent so much time investigating 2 completely other murders that there was like no foreshadowing for like, and then Emma killed someone. Wee, because we're like, this one we're looking at right now is our least investigated murder.
Which is why it's all just coming to fruition in front of us, because we have like no background on it. It's just like all this stuff. We have a picture and a vase that apparently said Emma this whole time.
Yep.
And that's all.
But yeah, Attack of the Clones streamlined things a bit, because it was just a series of linear fights instead. It was like first they fight in the Colosseum, then they fight on their way to the final fight, and then they fight Dooku, and it's all like one at a time, because by the time they reached Episode 1, they were losing their goddamn minds, parallel editing 4 wars happening at once, and it's like, no, this is too much, stop. Well, everyone, get ready for the big finale.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.